Please state your name and you have 3 minutes to offer your information.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Do we get 3 minutes apiece, or is that 3 minutes total?
We'll see.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Scott Bradley. I'm the director of the Arkansas Sheriff's Association. I just want to make it clear the sheriffs do support our Second Amendment. We always have. We did not take a stand when open carry came about. We stayed completely neutral. We understand that we can't be everywhere all the time. Okay, I just want to make that clear. There's a lot of talk about the Jamie Taft case, and that's the information that we would like to talk about today. Sheriff David White is to my right, and that incident took place in this county. So that's basically why we're here today.
Sheriff, would you like to speak?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair. The Jamie Taft versus State of Arkansas was a Court of Appeals case that originated in my county. There's a lot of things going on out there, and I just wanted everybody to understand what exactly happened in that case. We got a call from a business owner right outside of Mountain Harbor, and the business owner is very pro-gun, has several people go in there, open carry, and he has never called us on a gun before, ever. On this particular incident, he has a guy enter his business, sweating profusely, very nervous, does not make contact with anybody, does not buy anything in the business, and walks out. He makes a second entrance into the building, goes to the restroom, and that's when the store owner sees a gun trying to be concealed in his waistband in his back. Again, he does not make contact with anybody, he does not buy anything, and come to find out he had been kicked out of a vehicle because he was so geeked out of his head. The driver of the vehicle kicked him out right there close to the store. The business owner calls me directly. I have 2 deputies respond to the call. They encountered the subject matching the description on the side of the highway, initiated the blue lights, and made a stop on him. At that time, Mr. Taft didn't even acknowledge the blue lights. He tried to keep walking. One of the deputies addressed him, and he finally turned around, reaching in his back of his waistband where the gun was. The next thing that happens is, of course, they take action. They put him down at gunpoint and take his substantial amount of methamphetamine away from him and his firearm. He was also a convicted felon. That is the case. That is not what was heard. The suppression is very limited. The suppression here was very limited, and that's what the case was based on. The Court of Appeals was a very limited information in the suppression hearing. It was not a jury trial or anything like that. But that is the crux of the case. That's the case as it happened. And it's not a gun case, in my opinion. It's still not a gun case. It was turned into one.
I'll allow you about 2 more sentences if you can get to the end.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. The case was about whether or not we had reasonable suspicion to turn our blue lights on the stop. That's what the case was. And they ruled that we did not have reasonable suspicion, even though the circuit court judge said we did have enough reasonable suspicion at that time to make the stop.
Members, do we have any questions of these individuals? Representative Clowney, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Sheriff White. Under your department now, after the Taft case, has the Taft case changed the way that you all deal with concealed or unconcealed firearm holders?
Our concealed carry?
Yes, sir.
No, we deal with guns on people all the time. We live in a hunting culture, and we have people that shoot guns. We deal with a lot of people in Montgomery County that have guns. This case is different because of the behavior of the person and the call, and we have a due diligence to answer that call and serve our community. And so when we get calls like that, suspicious person, you're talking about an individual who called us that sees people, it's right outside of Mountain Harbor. So in the summer, he sees thousands of people come through his business. And knowing that, and he has a pretty good judge of character, we will answer those calls. Absolutely. we will.
Thank you. Thank you.
Representative Glover, you're recognized for a question.
Yeah. Yes. And I understand you to say the person reached in the back of his pocket and pulled out his weapon as the officer was attempting to.
No, he did not pull it out. He reached back to where the caller stated that the firearm was on his person, which was in his back, in his waistband.
Obviously, they gave you probable cause to.
Representative Glover, is this a question, a follow-up question?
Oh, thank you.
You're recognized for one follow-up question.
Thank you very much. Obviously, thank you, Madam Chair. Obviously, that gave the officer the right to proceed as he did. Is that right?
As far as his use of force policy and his training, he absolutely had the right to do that. The thing was, and going back to the ruling, just to clarify what you're trying to ask me, is that we didn't have any right to turn the blue lights on the side of the highway and get out with him. That's what the ruling was.
All right. I see no other questions. Representative Glover, be sure you turn your microphone off there.
Thank you, Madam.
I see no other